Did you know that, in fact, water is not colorless? It has a slight blue tint, and this can best be seen in a long column of water. Welcome to NIMASA This Week. I am Eugenia Abu. We thank you for joining us.
Any vessel operating coastal voyage in Nigeria must mandatorily have on board the following: vessel logbook, vessel port of call, vessel particulars, which include registry certificates, safety equipment certificates such as safe manning certificates, builder certificates, load line certificates, tonnage certificates, radio certificate, insurance certificates, classification certificates, passenger ship safety certificate, service certificate, cargo ship certificate, and waiver certificates or receipts. Vessel owners, captains, shipping agents, and members of the public are advised to note and comply.
Up next on the program, maritime facts, maritime nuggets. Stay with us.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, this week approved the appointment of Dr. Dayo Mobiriola as the Director General CEO of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, for a renewable term of 4 years. The appointment follows the exit of Dr. Bashir Jamu, whose 4-year tenure expired on the 10th of March 2024. Dr. Mobiriola holds a PhD and an MSc in Transport Economics from the University of Wales, United Kingdom. He is a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Transport, England, and a Fellow of the same institute in Nigeria. He was the Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, from 2003 to 2015, and was also the Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State from 2015 to 2016. In the private sector, he was the Deputy Managing Director and Project Development Director at AFM Consulting plc, London. He was also Senior Economist at British Petroleum Shipping Limited, London. The President expects the new Director General to bring his vast experience to bear in his new role and to achieve the mandate of NIMASA in providing world-leading standards of maritime safety administration, maritime labor regulation, marine pollution prevention and control, search and rescue, cabotage enforcement, shipping development and shipping registration, in accordance with the policies and programs of the renewed Hope Agenda for the sector, as ably guided by the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON. For us at NIMASA, we welcome our new DG CEO. Meanwhile, the immediate past DG NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamu OFR, earlier this week handed over the affairs of the agency to Honorable Chudi Ofodile, the agency's Executive Director of Finance and Administration. During the handover ceremony at NIMASA Towers in Victoria Island, Jamu expressed gratitude to the federal government for giving him the opportunity to serve in the capacity as Director General, and urged the next leadership of the agency to consolidate on the gains of the past 4 years.
It's a great honor for me and privilege to stand before you this afternoon. With sincere happiness and gratitude to Almighty Allah to see this day. It has been a very, very challenging time working in NIMASA, not only as DG, in any capacity you find yourself. But you have to understand life the way it is. Wherever you find yourself, there are challenges. I am here to rejoice with you and let you know that the future of this agency is bright. I want to hand over this document to you for this to guide you in moving the agency forward where we stop. Thank you very much.
The agency's executive directors had this to say about the outgoing DG.
I worked with him for 4 years, exactly 4 years today. Yesterday. And everybody knows that in that executive management we had, I was the closest to him. And the reason was simple. I was new in the industry and I needed guidance. And to the glory of God, he provided it. And for that and many more, I will remain grateful to you and will call on you at any time. And I believe you will answer to help us here and to help the industry move forward.
I don't know where to start, but I want to thank you for what you have done for us so far. Since we come, he has tried all his best to explain things to us. He's the only person, from what I heard, that have, from the beginning, from the root, and get to the top in Lassa. I hope other people too will be able to make it like that. So I thank God for your life, and I wish you best of luck. And
the first conversation that we had was what I would call the epitome of hospitality and humility. He was being very open. He was being very, very friendly. And he was like, "You're welcome to Nimasa. You should consider me as a brother to you. And whatever it is that you need, I'll be there to provide it for you." Now that the tenor or your tenor has come to an end, the sky is just the beginning for you. And it is my prayer that you will succeed and you will continue to succeed.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Olufemi Oloruntola, paid a familiarization visit to management and staff of Nimasa. During his engagement with the management staff, Mr. Oloruntola urged staff to ensure strict compliance with the public service rules, with an assurance that the federal government has the best interests of public servants at heart.
Let me again use this opportunity to re-emphasize Nimasa in these past years has done very well by the records. The statistics of calmness that we have now around our waters is a testament to that. But more importantly, the biggest room in this world is the room for improvement. We currently enjoy the best collateral that we can ever have, which is the political will that government has demonstrated by creating a dedicated ministry for the sector. We must therefore leverage on that to ensure that Nimasa is positioned to achieve greater and greater heights.
This is Nimasa This Week. For your viewing pleasure, stay tuned for more stories and more information.
On the interview segment today, we shall be talking to two guests, Jacob Wybrandt of Sternula and the Danish Consul General to Nigeria, Jette Bjerum. They will be talking to us about improving bilateral relationships between Denmark and Nigeria. So we began by asking them why Denmark is seeking business relationships with Nigeria through Sternula.
Because we want to continue our cooperation with Nimasa. Nimasa has been one of the pioneers with introducing this new global maritime communication system as one of the first countries in the whole world. NIMASA has a great vision to digitalize and technology-wise improve their communication at sea. And this is a perfect match with Stanweb because we are the leading company of this technology.
So it's an amazing example of having an agile business model, having a very actually simple approach to how to do globally adaptable products into markets like Nigeria. It brings a fairly competitive cost model because you don't have a big organization, and then you work through partnerships. So the public-private partnership model into the way Sternular works together with NIMASA is an amazing example to us.
How the Sternular operations will benefit Nigeria as a nation?
Well, hopefully it can bring jobs at a certain point. That's definitely something that we look into. So the way you actually work with space technology into the space will also benefit the Nigerian people. So maritime safety, maritime security, communication in general. We all know how it is to work on the old mobile phone. Now we all have different mobile phones where it just simplifies our normal life. That will also happen into the maritime space.
We aim to support NIMASA, but also the local community to develop new services. New service means new workplaces, new competences, which can be globally exported. So one of the benefits of this project, cooperation with NIMASA, is that we take our know-how, which is top class, which is the world's best so far, bring it to the Nigerian people, support the Nigerian people to go out, develop, then take it to the global market.
Finally, NIMASA this week went personal, asking them about their impression of Nigerians as a people.
And as you can see, I also probably wear my Ankara clothes today. So there are a lot of elements of Nigeria that I really treasure. I love it here in Lagos. I've been here since 1st of August. My family is visiting me for for Easter. And of course, we're also going to have our jollof rice, our egusi soup, our pounded yam, and our fried yam. I try not to eat it too often, but that's really what we enjoy. And I must admit, I also like a star beer once in a while.
I love it here in Nigeria. People are friendly, the food is good, the weather is nice, I'm not freezing.
The International Maritime Security Operations Team, IMSOT, was in Lagos for another session of capacity development for members of staff of NIMASA. Over the years, IMSOT has partnered NIMASA for effective implementation of the International Ship and Port Security Code, the ISPS code, in Nigeria.
The initial idea is for us to do a national maritime security strategy, just like the UK one. But we realized that there is a national security strategy done by the Office of the National Security Advisor there. So we leverage on it, we looked at it. And when you look at that document, on maritime security, it's just like a paragraph, or there's nothing much elaborate on maritime security. So we decided that let's leverage on that gap and bring up a proposal for drafting strategy for coordinating maritime security.
There is a center down in Southampton that's 24/7, every single day of the year, looking at our territorial waters, looking at the maritime domain. And we also have a joint terrorism analysis center that has specialist analysts looking at maritime. So the threat picture we get from them. So if there is a lot of discussion and diversion in opinions and views about likelihood of something happening or impact, we can go down to these two centers that will give us real evidence from our intelligence services and others, so that we can then, we can then compromise. Okay, well, let's put that at, we had 5 levels of likelihood. It might be medium high instead of very high. But that's the sort of discussion that you have to have with all the experts, the ones that know more and that can share some information so that you can arrive to that scoring that is appropriate?
Strategies are investment documents. If you have a good strategy, people will invest. They'll invest in the country, then they'll invest in enterprises that make your country better. I'm talking about international partners, I'm talking about international organizations, I'm talking about the outside, I'm talking about companies within Nigeria will contribute, okay? So it's an investment document, that's why this is important. What you're doing is something that's important. Whether it is port security, whether it is integrating support for a blue economy, NIMASA is the right one.
The agency's Executive Director Operations, Engineer Fatai Adeyemi, and the Executive Director Cabotage Services, Mr. Jibril Abba, both attended the executive debriefing session. The IMSOT team shared valuable insights on the development of the United Kingdom Maritime Security Strategy, to which the NIMASA team expressed pleasure during the knowledge sharing session.
I wanted your experiences from the American side and from the UK side, how it went with you. If you had that same thing that was happening here yesterday, where someone thinks it's high and someone thinks it's low, is there an issue of not having proper data to use to come up with the right answer? Because I think regardless of how you swap it, you should come up with the same answers.
If you don't have the full picture, you're going to get different answers. But you should be able to say, at the end of the day, the number one priority, the thing that has the biggest impact and is most likely, should be the same, no matter which system you use.
Now that are interested in this program, and we hope they'll carry it on to fruition. I want to wish our facilitators thank you very much. And I don't want to say bye-bye because I know we'll meet very soon. But I'll wish you a safe journey. And this technical advice, I would say, or technical information you've given us will be utilized to the best minimum.
With this, I'm very sure that the future of our agency's security is getting brighter every day. So let me thank Madam Patricia, I think, from IMSOT, and your organizer generally for the support you have been giving to NIMASA all this while. To Mr. Phil, I thank you too, and the entire IMO for what you have been doing for us. We will continue to be together, and we are going to get to the end of this together. So please, let's do the review as agreed, put everything in place, update the document, and I can assure you we do everything possible within our limit to support this program.
You will recall that just recently, the United States Coast Guard announced a 3-year plan to remove all conditions of entry placed on vessels from Nigeria, calling at all the ports in the United States. This was based on the fact that NIMASA has effectively implemented the ISPS code in the country.
NIMASA This Week would always bring you more and more information. Join the fan base of NIMASA This Week by checking out all our social media platforms.
Members of the Presidential Revenue Monitoring and Reconciliation Committee paid a working visit to NIMASA. The chairman of the committee and the Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation, Mr. Ben Akabueze, noted that their visit was aimed at assisting agencies of government function better in terms of revenue generation.
This committee is charged with a mandate okay, ultimately, to one, ascertain the integrity of the federal government's revenue records, to, and in that process, to identify opportunities for enhancement of federal government revenues. So if there are challenges, if there are constraining factors, whether they be regulations or policies, this committee can generate, recommendations upward and initiate actions.
NIMASA Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Honorable Chudi Ofodile, led the NIMASA team that received the committee.
We understand exactly why the federal government is keen on optimizing revenue and plugging leakages. So everybody understands that. It's very, very important. But then, if it begins to in the implementation process, if it begins to affect the operations of the same agencies that are supposed to generate the revenue, then I think somebody needs to look into that.
Introducing the NIMASA Distress Response Call Lines for all maritime stakeholders, ship owners, seafarers, ship captains. Whatever your challenge or distress in the Nigerian maritime domain, please call 0803 0685 167, 0708 0005 956, 0700 0700 010. If you can't reach us on these lines, please call 0700 0700 020, 0700 0700 030. Also via VHF Radio Channel 16. Call and NIMASA will respond.
Isoleto, ye Africa.
This meeting, as you were earlier informed, is more or less like a familiarization visit. I was appointed as the Executive Director of Maritime Naval and Habitat Services sometime in January this year. And I resumed work at NIMASA sometime last month. So when I resumed work here, I was made to understand that there are quite a number of stakeholders that I'm supposed to communicate with.
The NGIC for dock workers, like we all know, is already long overdue. I don't know if you have reached out to, but we already reached out to members for their submissions.
What are you anchored on this week? I'm anchored on fish delicacies. Did you know that I love to cook? Fish delicacies are very special across Nigeria. Check out all the fish dishes you know. Until next week, when we come your way again, you have been watching NIMASA This Week. On behalf of the entire team behind the scene, I am Eugenia Abu. Thank you for being with us.